Welcome to the Man of Recaps. This is Westworld Season 3. Remember, in Season 2, Dolores led the robot uprising to free the hosts of Westworld from human control. In the end, Dolores put her mind in a robot body of Delos board member Charlotte Hale and was able to escape to the mainland. Now she's rebuilt her own body and is theoretically continuing her plans for a worldwide robot uprising. So this season, we're not in Westworld anymore. The story takes place in the real near-future world. For a country bumpkin, Dolores adapts real quick to that big city life. In this world where everything's computerized, her being a robot basically gives her superpowers. And soon she figures out that money is basically another superpower, so she gets a bunch of that real quick. Dolores' plan centers around this young tech guy. In fact, she's already dating him. His company, Insight, has developed an advanced artificial intelligence, Rehoboam, whose predictive algorithms basically control a lot of the world. And to see how it affects your average human, we meet a new main character this season. It's Aaron Paul as Caleb. Caleb has a sort of lonely, sad life. He's working a dead-end job as a construction worker. He goes to apply for better ones, but the Rehoboam algorithm says he's not good enough. He never gets them. So nights he works a side hustle with the Rico crime app. Yes, it's basically Uber for crime. He's playing real-life GTA. So Dolores is doing some corporate espionage, but pretty soon the head of security catches her. But oh, she wanted to be caught, goes into beast mode, takes all these guys out. Turns out she's built a robot copy of the security head and replaces him with her host friend. But it turns into a big shootout where Dolores gets to use her gunslinging skills, but Caleb was actually called in on this job, but realized something was wrong, and now he sees an injured Dolores and saves her, just like William did back in the park in Season 1. She's like, hey man, you're cool, I could use your help. She shows him that his life is even more controlled than he thought. Rehoboam's algorithms become a self-fulfilling prophecy, and he's predicted to kill himself right here in about 10 years. So Dolores becomes Caleb's sexy leather-clad Morpheus. It's time to free your mind, Neo, and he's like, hell yeah, I'm in. Another part of Dolores' plan is with robot Charlotte Hale. Originally, Dolores put her own mind in there, but we don't know who's inside anymore. Dolores smuggled out a couple of the pearls, so it could be anyone. Now, Delos is reeling from the whole robot uprising thing, but Robo-Charlotte's trying to buy the rest of the board out and take the company private. That way, she and Dolores will have full control of Westworld and building new hosts. But there's a problem. She needs the votes of an absent board member. Yes, it's William, the man in black. He is not doing well at the moment. Remember last season, he killed his real-life daughter because he thought she was a host, and now he's fully descended into madness. So Charlotte's gotta pay him a visit. Yo, pull yourself together. I need your votes. Now it's time to check in on Bernard, who has ditched the nerdy programmer look for a sexy lumberjack look. Dolores rebuilt him out here in the main world, even though they're theoretically opposed. Dolores wanted to conquer humanity, while Bernard is more of a pacifist, wanted them to all live in peace. So Bernard is running diagnostics on himself, but he needs better tech, so he takes a ship back to Westworld. Here he finds the head of park security, Ashley Stubbs, who turns out is a host himself. Everyone who predicted that, you were right. They go through the office of another park we haven't seen yet, Medieval World. Yeah, looks awesome. And while Bernard's doing his thing, Stubbs grabs an axe to get into character. So now Bernard remembers some of Dolores' plan. He and Stubbs going on a bro road trip to stop her. But now it's time to check in on Maeve, who's wearing old-timey clothing. Where is she? She's been transferred to yet another park. It's World War II World. I did not see that coming. She's reunited with an old friend. Yes, it's Hector, no longer the sexy Western bandit, the sexy Italian resistance fighter. They go on a fun spy adventure, but during their escape, it's apparent Hector doesn't remember Maeve. He's just playing out his loop. And so Maeve escapes for real by shooting herself to wake up backstage, where she's reunited with her human friend Lee Sizemore, who went out in a hail of gunfire to protect her last season, but apparently he survived. Remember last season, Maeve sacrificed herself so her daughter and the other hosts could live in the virtual paradise world, the Sublime, which Dolores later beamed off into the cloud. So he takes her down there, like, put in the coordinates, then you can go join your daughter, but she's like, what? I don't know. He's like, it's okay, my love, you can trust me, but she's like, yo, that's not the relationship we had. And she realizes this isn't the real Lee Sizemore. In fact, this isn't the real world. She's in a virtual simulation. So she hatches a plan to cause a bunch of chaos, to overload the system and crash it. Now she's able to access the outside world. She hacks a robot, grabs her brain, and busts on out of there. But in the end, she doesn't quite make it. Now she wakes up in a real body and meets her host, the main antagonist this season, the French guy Serac. Turns out he is the real owner of Rehoboam. The young guy's just a figurehead. He recruits Maeve to fight on his team against Dolores, and he controls this body, so he's not really asking. Apparently Paris was nuked when he was a kid, so he designed Rehoboam to control humanity and protect it from itself. But his predictive models of human behavior aren't perfect. Turns out the Westworld files are better. Dolores sent those off with the Sublime, so he's like, get the location, then I'll get those files, then you can go be with your daughter. So now it's fancy party time. Dolores and Caleb gonna kidnap this guy. Bernard and Stubbs going there too to save him. But robot security guy's there to stop him. It's like, oh, which host are you? Is that you in there, Teddy? Meanwhile, Maeve breaks into Dolores' Yakuza headquarters, where she's able to hack all these guys' auto-aiming guns and take them out easily. The new Yakuza leader is also a host on on Dolores' team, it's like, oh, who are you? Is that you in there, Teddy? Meanwhile, robot Charlotte Hale is playing William. She tells him she's a host so that he attacks her and rants about a robot uprising so she can have him committed and get his votes that way. And so simultaneously, we learn the identity of all three of these hosts, and turns out they are all Dolores. Yeah, she just copied herself in all the bodies. If you want something done right, do it yourself. So Maeve and Dolores have katana fight round 1. This one, Dolores wins. And Dolores wins on all fronts. She successfully got this guy. He fights back though with the only weapon he has on him, a party drug called genre, which makes your life feel like a movie. So Caleb's tripping in black and white, but when they get into a car chase, he shifts genres. She gives him a big gun. Hey man, you're in an action movie now. In the end, Dolores wins. She uses this guy's access to leak all of Rehoboam's data on people to everyone in the world. And people aren't happy to see their entire lives are decided for them, so it's the opposite of Westworld as Dolores incites the human revolution against their computer overlords. But Dolores doesn't win on the corporate front. Serac buys up Delos in a hostile takeover, and soon he figures out that Charlotte Hale is the robot imposter. See, she's got a family that Robo-Charlotte's become very attached to, but real Charlotte was never that good a mom. But Charlotte escapes with some help from another robot friend, the massive new security droid. Pwah! Meanwhile, Maeve is chilling in Virtual World as she's waiting for her body to be rebuilt. But now that Serac owns Delos, he's able to recruit her some friends, and Maeve is reunited with the real Hector. But on her way out, Charlotte sabotaged Maeve by crushing Hector's unit, killing him for real. So when Maeve wakes up, she's real mad now. Dolores just made this personal. And soon we get to see who else Maeve recruited. Yes, it's her friend Clementine and the girl from Samurai World, so watch out for them. But as for Charlotte Hale, she's not the same Dolores anymore. She's grown to be her own person and wants to just run away from all this with her family. Unfortunately, Serac, boom, blows up her car, killing her family, leaving her burned like Anakin, and now she's real mad, ready to go full Darth Vader. Dolores Prime is on an adventure with Caleb. This isn't Westworld, it's the real West. She finally comes clean to him about being a robot. He's like, are you trying to destroy humanity? But she's like, no, I'm trying to free all of us. They find Serac's secret compound with the Rehoboam prototype that he built with his brother, but there's a problem with their plan to create a perfect controlled world. Too many people are outliers you just can't predict. In fact, Serac's brother is one of them. And so Serac kidnapped these people, tried to mess with their minds to fix them, and for the ones that didn't work, he's got them frozen here in cryosleep. But now Caleb learns he's been here before. He is one of Serac's outliers that's had his memory messed with. Yeah, we know all about Caleb's best friend Francis. They were in the military together, but he died tragically. But now Caleb remembers Francis didn't die on duty. They both made it home. Rehoboam pushed them into doing crime jobs, specifically taking out other outliers, until eventually the system told them to take out each other. How much they offer you, man? Enough. And oh, Caleb had to kill his best friend. So now Caleb's madder than ever, ready to burn this whole thing to the ground. But first Maeve shows up and it's katana fight round 2. This time though, she brought a drone for backup and is gonna win. But Dolores hits the EMP and knocks them both out. Her human friend Caleb not affected, so he grabs Dolores' hard drive and puts it in her backup body. Yes, the old school original metal one. Meanwhile, William, the man in black, is now the man in white. He does a VR therapy sesh with other versions of himself, which long story short does not go well. But now he's picked up by Bernard, who wants him to join he and Stubbs' bro road trip. But William feels good now, he knows what he has to do, and his new life's mission is kill all robots. Bernard activates his beast mode, so he slaps William around. The cops show up, but it's not the real cops, it's yet another Dolores host. It's our old friend Lawrence. It's like, hey Bernard, I knew you'd be here, special delivery, and Bernard realizes he's been multiple steps behind Dolores this whole time, and now it's the final part of Dolores' master plan. The riots have escalated, society's descending into chaos, but Dolores is somewhat controlling the chaos, using the crime app to hire mercenaries to protect Caleb and call him Sir Fight Club style. Yeah, she's setting Caleb up to be the leader of this human revolution. But now Maeve's here for Katana Fight 3, and with Dolores' metal arm, oh, she blocks it and wins. But what's this? Her system's overridden by Charlotte Hale Dolores, who's really mad at this one for reasons I don't fully understand. And so Serac captures Dolores. He searches her memories for the Sublime Key, deleting as he goes. But he never finds the Sublime Key because Dolores doesn't have it. She hid it in Bernard the whole time. So Bernard puts the injured Stubbs on ice. Hey man, just chill out for a minute while I go check out the virtual world. Serac soon captures Caleb too and shows him the predictions. Without Rehoboam's control, human civilization is destined to collapse. But now Maeve starts to realize Serac's a huge douche. In fact, he's not making any decisions for himself. He's got an earpiece with Rehoboam telling him everything to do. So Maeve goes in for a virtual chat with Dolores where it's like, hey, what are your real motivations? And it's like, yeah, at first I was mad at humanity for enslaving us. I wanted to kill them all. But then I was thinking humans can be real good too, so I choose to see the beauty. My real goal now is for everyone to be free, so Maeve, you decide what to do. So now Maeve uses her super hacking powers to override Serac's control, takes out all his men, and locks him out of Rehoboam. She gives control to Caleb, and it's like, well, this might cause the collapse of human civilization, but I'd rather die free than live in a cage. Rehoboam, delete yourself. But tragically, Dolores' memories are fully wiped. She sacrificed herself to make this new world possible, and this version of her at least is dead for real. So it's Maeve and Caleb who prepare to face this new free but chaotic world, and it's the end of Fight Club as the music swells and they watch society collapse. But we're not done yet. There's an after the credits scene with the man in black going to a Delos facility in Dubai. Someone here is building new hosts. It's the new Charlotte Hale, formerly Dolores, now herself. And she's built a special host for William. Yes, a robot version of himself. Now remember in season 2, we learned all about how you can't put a human mind in a host body. It just doesn't work. They were trying to get it right. This seems to be his personality though, so at least it's a host based on him. And it kills him. This is where human William meets his end. So what is Robo-Charlotte planning? Whatever it is, it involves a bunch more hosts. But there's one more quick credit scene back at Bernard's hotel room that's all covered in like sand now. How long has he been in there? And is Stubbs still in the tub? And that's where Westworld Season 3 comes to an end. If you like this recap, hit that subscribe button for more of the best recaps of TV and movies.